In this video, we will discuss about Python data types. Data types are basically used to categorize the data items. It decides whether an operation can be performed on a particular data. In Python, everything is done using classes. So data types are basically classes and objects. There are 5 types of data types in Python. The first one is Python numeric data types or Python numbers. Python numbers are basically used to represent numbers, where it can be integers or floating point numbers or complex numbers. Second one is a dictionary. The third one is a boolean. Then set, then sequence type. 3 sequence types are used: strings, lists, and tuples. First we will see how integer, float, and complex data types are working in Python. Integer, float, and complex classes are used to represent integer, float, and complex data types. The presence or absence of a decimal point decides whether it is an integer and floating point. So if we give 6, it will be an integer. If it is 6.0, it is a floating point number. So decimal point is important there. So integers are positive or negative whole numbers, and no fraction and no decimal point, and there is no limit to how long an integer value can be. Floating point, on the other hand, it is a real number with a floating point representation, and we can also use a e, small e or capital E, and followed by a positive or negative integer, and that may be appended to specify the scientific notation. That thing is optional. So normally decimal point is used in floating data type. So integer is a number and float is a real number with floating point. The third one is a complex number. Unlike complex numbers, this data type also specified as real part plus imaginary part. For example, 7 plus 3j means there is a real part 7 and there is an imaginary part 3. So real part plus imaginary part j represents a complex number. Type function can be used to determine the type of data type. If you write a is equal to 5, we can print the type of a using the type function. Here you can see in the output class int is displayed as the type of A. In the second example, b is equal to 5.0. That means it is a floating point type. And in the output you can see class float. And in the third example, c is equal to 2 plus 4j. So type of c is equal to complex is printed. So type function is used to determine the type of data type. We can do type conversion in Python. That means we can convert one type of number into another. When we write 1 plus 2.0, the output will be 3.0. That means when we add integer plus float, the result will be automatically converted from integer to floating point. That is, implicitly it will convert from integer to float. If one is integer and other one is float, you need not have to use type operator, it will automatically convert to float. Now we will see how to convert one data type of number. Here is an example, int of a float number 2.3, then it will be an integer. So to convert to integer, we can use int function. Now we will see how to convert integer to float. To convert to float, we can use float function. That means float 5 will give the result 5.0. So integer is used to convert to integer, float is used to convert to float. Now we will see how to convert to complex type. You can see complex 3 plus 5j, that is inside that is a string. If you use the complex function, it will be converted to 3 plus 5j. That means it is a complex type. So all these int, float and complex functions are built-in functions that used to convert between types explicitly. These functions can even convert from strings. And when we convert a float to integer, the number or the decimal parts will be removed. The second one is a dictionary. In Python, it is an unordered collection of data values. It can be created by placing a sequence of elements within curly opening brace and closing braces, and the items will be separated by comma. We can give any data type as values in the dictionary, and also we can duplicate the values. A dictionary can also be created by the built-in function dict, and we can also create dictionary by using curly braces. Here is an example for dictionary. Dict equal to, inside the curly braces, key and value is there. First key is 1, value is AB. The second key is name, the value is CD. Key is 3, value is EF. In this way we can create a dictionary. The next one is a Boolean. It is almost similar to the other programming languages. Boolean is a data type with one of the two built-in values, true or false. Within the single quotes, we can write true or false. T should be in capital letters and F should be in capital letters. Otherwise, Python will throw an error. The next one is a set. Set is an unordered collection of data type that is iterable, mutable, and has no duplicate elements. The order of elements in a set is undefined, though it may consist of various elements. It can also be used the set function with an iterable object or a sequence by placing the sequence inside curly braces separated by comma. This is the initialization of set. Here set1 is created using the set function. You can see there are 7 items. The first one is 1, 2, third element is string AB, then 4, then string CD, 6, then the last item EF. In this way we can create set. The next one is sequence type. There are 3 sequence types are there in Python. The first one is a string, the second one is a list, third one is a tuple. In Python, strings are arrays of bytes representing Unicode characters. A string is a collection of one or more characters that may be in single quotes or double quote, or it may be also of triple quote. So there is no character data in Python. A character is simply a string of length 1, and the str class is used to create string. The last one is a list. List are like the arrays in other languages. It is a ordered collection of data. It is the most simplest or flexible one if you compare with other data types. In Python, lists can be created by placing the sequence inside the square brackets. So square brackets you can use are used to create a list. So we just write a name of the list, then we write the required values, and even if we can create list inside a list by using square brackets inside another list. So we can create list with a string or with the multiple values. We can create list, or we can create also a multi-dimensional list. Next one is a tuple. Tuple is an ordered collection of Python objects. The only difference between type and list is that tuples are immutable. That means tuples cannot be modified after it is created. It is also represented by tuple class. Tuples are created by placing a sequence of values separated by comma with or without the use of parentheses for grouping the data sequence. That means tuple can contain any number of elements and of any data type. It can be string, can be list, can be integers. You can use any number of any data type, any number of elements in tuples. So these are the 5 Python data types: numbers, dictionary, boolean, set and sequence type. In Python, numbers, you can see 3 types are there, and in the sequence type there are 3 types of there: strings, list and tuples. So if we learn Python data types, we can declare or use our data inside our programs very efficiently.